Right, so I'm already loving how detailed these backgrounds are. You see the Tamagotchis on the bed, the posters, the laundry basket full of dirty clothes. All this stuff really makes it feel lived in. And even before we see the characters, we're getting some insight into their personality, which is the best thing you could do with a background design. So in this show, we see this a lot with all the characters. The animators aren't afraid to go off model when they need to push an expression or a pose. They sacrifice a little bit of that staying on model for more dynamic poses and poses that have a lot more energy to them. And we can really see that shine through with some of the expressions that they hit with these characters.
Round 647. Don't fail me now, thumbs.
So the reason I love this shot so much is because it's such a simple action, right? She's just standing up and she sits down. It would have been really easy to kind of just do something boring that works, but in this case, they actually made her jump up to anticipate and plop down on the ground and grab the controller. I think that's really, really good animation. Something that complements the personality of your characters and helps the audience connect more with that character because they feel more authentic and real rather than just a cutout puppet.
Hey, give that back!
Right, so this shot is probably pretty difficult to do with all the crazy angles and all the action. I think it's kind of a misconception now, especially with all the technical advancements that Toon Boom is making in terms of rigging tools. It's a lot easier than people think to get hand-drawn looking animation with rigs.
Do you need a play date or something? Mom, I'm 13. Best summer ever!
So usually on a show, it's 24 frames a second, and you do it on twos, which means every pose is held for 2 frames. On this show, it seems like they do things on 3s, sometimes 4s. So they're holding drawings and poses for 3 or 4 frames. Not only does it lend well to the kind of action, snappy style of this show, but it's giving the animators less poses to worry about so they can focus more on those key poses and make them look even better. All right, personally, I love doing this, and I love that we're seeing this more and more, especially in a 2D animated show.
Lily, you sly old devil.
If you notice the lines on the characters, they're boiling a little bit. So that just means the line is like wiggling, and that kind of mimics when you're doing hand-drawn animation. You got to redraw the line over and over again, so it's not going to be exactly perfect, so you always get that little boil. It kind of gives those drawings a little bit more life, which is really great in a show that's so dynamic and full of energy like this one.
No problem. I got a big problem. Where am I gonna get an air conditioner for $1?
The characters talk really fast.
Got a big problem. Where am I gonna get an air conditioner for $1?
Here, they seem to do a good job of phrasing the dialogue. They're not hitting every syllable that they're saying because it would look ridiculous. They're kind of phrasing it just a couple mouth shapes around the sounds. When they do hold a mouth position, they kind of add a little bit of squash and stretch so the mouth still feels alive and not dead. It's a really, really subtle thing, but it's kind of the difference between good and great lip sync.
Time to button mash.
So this is kind of what we were saying at the beginning. In this whole sequence, Lily's face is completely off model, right? But it's such an intense moment. She's so focused on winning the game that it actually works. You'd be surprised how far you can push these characters before they become completely unrecognizable. And this show isn't afraid to do that with all their characters at some point.
In front of the trailer!
There's actually a lot of physical comedy in this show, which is nice. Those full body shots with multiple characters and lots of action, they're probably the most difficult to do, but definitely the most fun. Especially in this show, when you mix those crazy expressions with those crazy poses and that really snappy timing.
Sorry about your gaming room.
It's cool. Sorry your summer plans got blown up.
It's cool too.
I think with any show, the animation can be great, the visuals can be great, but if there's no really interesting story or the dynamic between the characters isn't that interesting, no one is really going to watch. And I think this show really nails that right away. All that crazy action kind of supports that dynamic between the two main characters, which is at its core two step siblings getting to know each other better and learning how to put aside their differences and work together. So all in all, this seems like a very cool show with a very unique animation style that you don't see too much in shows today. So I'm really interested to see what they do with this and where it goes. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and check out the full episode on YouTube.
Well, what do you think, kids?
It's a little rough around the edges, but just give it some time.